Udyami Bharat, which is modernization, where we emphasize fostering innovation and explore new dimensions by adapting to technological shifts. This approach ensures that India enterprises remain competitive and agile in a rapidly evolving digital landscape. With that being said, it's now time for me to invite over the speaker, Mr. Rupendra Kumar, Partner Technical Specialist, IBM, who will deliver the keynote session. And could we please welcome Mr. Rupendra with a big, big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks. Presentation के लिए अच्छा this one. No, I have this one. Hello everyone, I hope I'm audible till the back. Good afternoon, how are you? Everyone doing good today? Okay, so my name is Rupendra Kumar, I am from IBM Security. I am a Partner Technical Specialist. I basically handle the IBM Security Digital Trust portfolio across North India, East India and Bangladesh region. I am an SME for the IBM's Data Privacy and Protection Solution, that is IBM Guardian. Today, I'll walk you through about how IBM look at the data privacy and protection and also the identity management in the industry and how IBM can help you achieve that. So, before I start, I just want to understand, have you heard about the term DPDP? Yeah, so I think majority of the audience here have heard of DPDP. DPDP is nothing but the Digital Personal Data Protection Act, which got announced last year, and in the next 3-4 months, I'm assuming we can see it in action. So, just like every other countries in every other continents, now India in Asia, we are also going to have an act for the protection of the personal data, and the DPDP that is coming here is basically allowing the data principals or the data owners to be in control by putting in policies like consent management, progressive profiling and whatnot. So, DPDP doesn't only mean that the data that is online, I mean that you are collecting online. Let's say I have a website and some users are coming to my website creating an account. That is true, that is a digital identity that they are creating and it comes under the purview. But even if you are collecting data on pen and paper and then on the back end you are putting that data into your systems, into your databases, into your file systems, that also comes under the purview of this DPDP Act. So, by this majority of the organizations, no matter the size, whether small, medium or large, or no matter what sector they are in, be it IT, be it manufacturing, be it retail, everyone who is storing the personal data will come under the purview of this DPDP Act. And there are huge penalties for this, which goes up to 250 crores. So, this is a very hot topic right now, I would say, because everyone is talking about DPDP. And yeah, so if you look at DPDP, I have this slide which basically breaks down the DPDP Act in 4 categories, starting from the data collection, then the data processing part, then storage, and then finally the compliance part. So, in the data collection part, we have this, like DPDP Act says that when you are collecting data, you have to ask for the consent. You have to share with them like for what purposes you are going to use the data for, till what period you will be storing it, and after that you have to erase it. Then post that data processing part is like protecting the data, who all third party vendors are using it. So, protection of data at rest and in motion as well. Then once the processing is done, you will be storing that data in your databases for certain period of time. So, at that time, what encryptions you are putting in place, how you are protecting the data, how you are setting up the access policies, checking who are accessing the data, where the data is going, and all that comes under the data storage part. And lastly, the compliance, like you have to be audit ready, because once this comes in action, everyone has to comply to it, and audits or to be audit ready is very important from any compliance perspective, not just only DPDP. Now that the context is set, I like to share about the offering that IBM have in the data protection and privacy, that is IBM Security Guardian. Now, when it comes to the data, these are generally considered as a crown jewel, no matter the size of the organization. These are the key factors that every organization is trying to protect. It could be in structured format, unstructured format. It could be residing in your on-premises databases or in your cloud databases. It could be on your mainframes. So, what are the key concerns when it comes to data? Anyone can just give me one major concern. Anyone? Yeah. The breach, data breach, that could be due to any external factor or any insider threat can also be there. So, these are all the major challenges, like how you are protecting data from being exfiltrated, how you are putting encryption in place, monitoring of the activities who are accessing the data, how you are managing the keys of the encryption, also a major part of it. So, to cater to these challenges, what IBM has is this solution, and this is basically our DPARC framework. This covers the entire journey from the data protection perspective. It starts with a very basic stage, that is discovery, because to protect your sensitive data, you first need to know where your sensitive data actually is residing. So, what this does is, it will check across your database sources. It will it has its own data discovery patterns, using which it will look for all the sensitive data. It will classify it based on the compliance regulations. Let us say you have a PCI DSS, the payment card industry. If you want to comply to that, it had regular expressions to identify the credit card numbers, CVV numbers, the expiration date, and so on and so forth for every compliance. That way, it will tell you these are your sensitive data and these are the locations that it is residing. Now comes the protection part. You can set up access policies, as in to tell the solution that this user is authorized, this user is not. And also it provides a real-time activity monitoring, so that whenever any user is trying to access the data, that this tool will sit on top of it. It's like, consider it as a gatekeeper for your databases. This will sit outside as a gatekeeper, and any communication that is coming to it, whether it can be through command line interface or through any application, if it is coming to the database, it will be intercepted, will be checked for the access policies, whether the user is authorized or not, and then the tool can decide whether to allow that particular transaction, or you can block or quarantine the sessions as well. This quarantining activity can also be automated based on the policies that you can set. Let us say you set, if this particular action is happening, immediately terminate the session and block the user and send the alert to the SIM solutions. So, that kind of capability is there. Apart from that, so one thing, let us say I have set up, I am an admin user, I have the access to perform the critical queries like DDL, DML. But what if, you know, I have someday I have this malicious intent and I am trying to do kind of what we call it as an insider threat, right? So, in that case, what this tool also supports is, this has a capability of user behavior analytics. So, it will see, it knows that I use DDL, DML commands on a daily basis, but let us say on a certain day I am trying to download a huge amount of data, or I am trying to give access, admin access, privilege access to 100 number of users. So, this will intercept that, this will treat it as an anomaly or an abnormal behavior, and it will terminate the session or block the session. This is not set up in the access policies, but it leverages AI and ML to cater to these kind of situations. Then further we have analyze part. Now that every access policies are in set place, the monitoring is being taken care of. Then it also on the back end, it will check for all the security gaps in your databases, like all the vulnerabilities, be it your weak passwords or any kind of vulnerabilities like any update that has been missed. This will tell you, this will give you a prompt, this will provide you recommendations on how you can resolve those particular vulnerabilities, and this has the advanced analytics support. Advanced analytics, what I mean is, it basically keeps looking into the environment, just like the example I mentioned in case of privileged user. It also checks for all kind of activities like denial of service attacks, SQL injection attacks. So, any kind of behavior or activity that is happening, it will automatically flag it to the industry known threat factors and give you the visibility on what user was involved, what exact query he has put up, how many vulnerabilities that particular user was involved into. So, a clear picture you will get from a single screen. Then the last part, the second last part is respond. This tool has its own response capabilities like blocking and quarantining the sessions, but it also integrates with your existing SIEM and SOAR solutions for automated response. It can send the alert directly to the SIEM solutions, and if you have set up playbooks in SOAR, then automated actions can be taken upon. This also integrates with your ticketing tools because let us say in a day you are getting 10 anomalies at a single time. It is basically impossible for a single admin to respond on all the 10 at the same time. Hence, the integration with the ticketing tools, you can create ticket, you can assign the particular cases to a particular analyst to work on, so that you can respond to queries in real time. Lastly is the compliance part. So, for compliance, what Guardium has done is, generally what every organization is doing is they are collecting the logs natively, they are analyzing it, preparing audit reports whenever there is an audit, and that way they are complying to every regulations. This tool will automate the entire compliance journey. It will eliminate the need of native logging, because since as an example I said, since this is a gatekeeper for your database, every query that is coming to the system, coming to the database, this will intercept and this will keep logs, entire logs like what DB user was involved, source IP, destination IP, what queries he was used, under which category it comes on, everything. So, that is why it keeps on collecting logs, and it has templates for all the compliance regulations. Let us say you want to comply to GDPR, you just select GDPR there, onboard your databases, and you are good to go. It will do the discovery, classification, protection, analyze part, responding if there are any vulnerabilities or you are not complying to that, it will show you status, and finally it will give you the reports which you can use for your audit purposes. So, this is the entire journey of data privacy and protection that Guardium helps you to get to. If I talk about from the use case perspective, these are kind of use cases that it does. Many of them I have already mentioned, few are masking and detecting capabilities, then automating the compliance, vulnerability assessment support. So, this one picture gives all the use cases in just one slide. Now, apart from giving you the use case perspective or any advantages, this also will help you reduce cost from the SIEM solutions. This basically generally on an average we see around 1.7 billion events that are going to the SIEM tool. This has the capability using Guardium Insights. You have AI that you can put into action to filter from all those events, so that you can send only the actionable events to the QRadar SIEM, and all those that are not or maybe a false positive kind of a scenario, you can eliminate it here itself. Because if you look at SIEM's licensing is based on events per second, right. So, if you are reducing the event flow towards the SIEM, you are reducing your cost. So, that is another use case. Now, second thing, and yeah, so the one more slide. So, IBM Security Guardium has been recognized as a leader in the Kupinger Cole Leadership Compass, and these are all the different categories, like it has been recognized as a product leadership quadrant, innovation leadership, and market leadership. Now, the second solution that I want to touch upon is regarding the identities, because with the introduction of Gen AI, machine learning models and such enhancements in the hacking system as well, now the users are not just trying to hack the system, but they are trying to log in into the system and retrieve all those data. So, a need for an identity and access management solution is a must in today's environment. And when I talk about identity, the first thing comes to our mind is the workforce identities, like the employees of the organization or the admin accesses, admin users who have privileged accesses, who basically have the keys to the crown jewels. But for all these identities, there are different solutions in the market. One is dedicated for privileged users, another is for your workforce users, but there is one more user, that is the consumer identities. And consumers, I would say, plays a very important role in building an organization from the small size to the very large size, because if a consumer is happy with the services that they are getting, if they have this seamless experience with their organization, then they stick to it. IBM Security Verify is a solution that caters to all the identities, be it your workforce identities, your privilege identities, and even your consumer identities. This also have the capability of consent management, which again is in purview of DPDP. This tool will help the data principals give control as in how their data is being used. And this has standard features like single sign-on, multi-factor authentication. On top of that, it has passwordless authentication, to make the process seamless. And in IBM globally, we use this IBM Security Verify for our internal use only. So I don't remember when was the last time I typed in my W3 ID and password. There's just a passwordless mechanism that I've set up. I just scan the QR code and I'm into the system. And it has adaptive access. Let's say if I'm logging in, logging in from Delhi at 1 p.m. and at 1:30 p.m. I'm logging in from USA, then it is physically and it is just unrealistic. It is not possible to me to reach USA in just half an hour. This tool will detect those kind of logins as well, those kind of suspicious logins or behaviors. Then we have identity governance as well, which basically takes care of the use cases from the governance perspective. For example, taking care of the joiner, mover, leaver part. Whenever an employee joins the organization, he got to have some basic rights, like birth rights that they have. So this tool will automate that journey, automate the access workflow approval policy, and considering the entire identities, be it privilege or the workforce and consumer as well. IBM Security Verify has also been recognized as a leader in multiple reports. If you see on the top right corner, in the Forrester, in the Kupinger Cole Matrix, it has been recognized as a leader. And this is another Kupinger Cole Identity Fabric report. Now, I started this with the DPDP mapping about how the data collection, processing, storage and compliance tells about the story of IBM, of the DPDP Act. Now, if we map IBM solution to it, then these are the solutions that can help you achieve these particular aspects from the DPDP perspective. Now, I am not saying that this is a one solution that you need to comply entirely to DPDP, because again DPDP covers a wide range of compliance, and one solution is will not be able to cater to all the aspects from DPDP perspective. But these are the 4 categories regarding the DPDP, and these are the solutions from IBM that we can help you with in complying to the DPDP and making you a DPDP compliant organization. So with this, thank you so much for coming here, for joining us. We also have set up a demo booth which is just outside in the lunch area. Inspira and IBM, we both are will be there to assist you. If you are interested, do come visit us there, and maybe we can engage in a more deep conversation. Thank you so much.